got ourselves Archimon coming back in. Where's your red skin? What is your demonic skin? Where are your demonic eyes? Oh, do you have some? You do have them. So you just decided to go actual Archimon. He's literally cosplaying. That makes sense, actually. Now it makes sense. Wait, doesn't Archimon have this like head thing that goes all the way up, like ridges on the head? My goodness. Gonna be Jayhawk first up versus Plush. Goes in with a cheap shot immediately. Jayhawk last time versus Plush. He had to find himself some stopping power. I wonder if he was able to maybe mull that match over last time. Trying to see if he can go for barrages with the Plush. Trying to see if he can not let the guy out of sight. As Plush does dive himself into advantage. Brett doesn't quite connect. Over in team 2, we got ourselves besides Jayhawk, we got Grifka, we got Minus, we got Thrallhall waiting for his turn, as well as a Forkbeard. And on the team with Plush, as he's trying to see if he can fight through Jayhawk. I'm gonna zoom out of here for a second. We got Holy, we got ourselves Kawi Boy, Balagan, and my man Archie on the Archimon. I like it too because it's Archie the Shaman. That's my homie. Archie the Shaman on a demonology. That spec is going to be weird in 10 too. That tier set looks a little bit weird, man. Oh god, no, the demons. The demons, dude. It's like, I'm already facing demons IRL. I don't want to see it in the arena. Breath out by Jay as he goes in for Poly. Got himself, oh my god, I'm swapping the wrong person. The whiplash effect. Gonna be a blind by Plush, looking for a reset as Jay finally repositioned versus Plush, but looks like he's able to get out of a blind. Trying to see if he can chase. Using a blink. Does he have himself a touch of the Magi in the game? A touch of the Magi, I think, is in. Does he have what's it called? Does he have another Tempest? Because I can't tell what's another Tempest. What is an Ice Block for Jay, looking for the reset. Plush also looking for a quick reset. Was able to force Jay, but now that the man is a big old Ice Block, he's looking for a setup. Out of that melee reach, trying to go for Poly. It is going to be a cloak shot for Plush. Big shot to the and the eviscerate. I think Jay at that point decided to commit. Maybe that was a little aggressive. I feel like sometimes he's like a little too safe, keeping his reach away from the rogue, but as gives the rogue plenty of distance to get it around pillar. Or sometimes he goes in aggressive, but then he gets in the melee range. So I feel like he's got to find like that perfect tight distance away from rogue. Not quite in melee, but also not quite far enough where the rogue can just line you and lap you behind the pillar. Quick blind out of Plush as he goes in for a quick reset versus Minus as a rogue. Minus is definitely gonna have to find a way to get Plush away from the pillar, then catch him in the clutches of the void, and then rot him down very, very quickly. Big secret sneak, has himself a fade with a fear to follow, looking for a bit of reheal. If you keep dots on the Plush, that could be pretty good, but you definitely need to get himself a proper distance burst going. That's going to be maybe a sippy cup on a Plush, trying to see if he can deny the sippy cup. Got himself the mind games on him for just a second. Gouge onto Minus for just a moment. Looking to bail out of there for just a second. Minus had himself full burst, but Plush is just not going to let it happen. Get a shot to follow. Trinket right after. Got himself fate for a second, but a cheap shot to follow. Plush looking for a bit of damage too. Trinket right after. Looking for an intro. Doesn't quite connect. It's going to be rude. Plush with a vanish. But it's actually going to be some CC immunity for Minus for just a second as he goes in for the juke. And there goes the last vanish for Plush until 15 seconds later. Standing next to the eyes, but Minus not picking him up just yet. As long as he can survive this go by Plush, he might actually be okay. Wait, Wild Growth? Hold on. Did Kavi end up healing Minus? Is that what I just saw? I did misplay it. Because he just randomly hit up with a thing. I don't even know what's happening. Did you just heal the guy? What's going on? Huh? I'm sorry? Big DPs are down into Plush. Does have a cloak coming back up very, very soon. Got himself the big shield from the Spore Cloak. Vanish available, Cloak available. Could go for a reset. It's going to be Minus trying to keep the guy in combat as best possible. Stun into Plush. Have himself a cloak for this one. Fear right after. Minus just trying to get himself a bit of a breather. Does he have anything to follow up? Plush trying to see if he can deny the defenses just yet. Kineshot with a big secret technique, massacring right through the health of Minus's demand. There goes his Spore Cloak. Got himself a little bit of a fade. Desperate prayer as the man has fallen into a bit of a desperate situation. Root onto Plush for just a second, but does break out of it with the quickest vanish of my life. Still got dots though. So as long as Minus is careful. Does he have a Shadow Crush? I feel like from Minus, Shadow Crush around the corner against the Rogue would have been amazing, but looks like somehow was able to deny any kind of resaps from the Rogue. But as long as he doesn't have mobility, like unless he got someone to get some movement to get behind the pillar, Plush is going to catch his quick restyle. Does get himself a kinder shot, but still dots burning him down little by little. No technique for now. Stun into Plush, no trinket available. Has himself a cloak in case he needs to vanish, going back up again. So he's actually in a fantastic spot. Minus, what are you going to do in this situation, my guy? I feel like Mindflay is actually not the worst. If you can get, especially if you can get some Mindflay Insanities too, that does quite a bit of damage, and it's gonna put a slow into the Rogue. put him under a ton of pressure, maybe force him to get into melee with you, trying to see if you can maybe avoid him, fade for just a second, maybe trying to avoid a stun, Splash get himself a kidney shot, gouge instead. As Minus trying to see if he can break out of C ahead of time with a shot of more death, kidney shot to follow, but Blush does not have the damage for this one. He's actually kind of like behind a bit. Dots a back up onto the rogue. It is minus some mobility at all. That crippling poison, I think with a shiv is what's really slowing him down quite a bit. Plus, still in combat though, cannot find himself a quick re-stealth. There's going to be a Spore Cloak. I don't know if the dots are going to be enough to keep him out of stealth, but does get himself a quick Shadow Meld for just a moment. Sap onto Minus for just a second. As he's looking for more healing, at least he's getting himself a proper breather. The flashlights are still doing a little bit of work. And plus, he doesn't have anything for 15 seconds. For Minus, it's not a lot of opportunity to work with. Kidney shot right after. As it's going to be tricky for the rogue. Disperse. He sees the big cold Bloodseeker technique. At least he's able to kind of slow down the rogue for a bit. Was that a Nightborn racial for 50% slow? I mean, that does make it harder for the rogue to escape, but man, I never get to see that thing ever. Blush does go in for a Vanish, still a mind games on him if he goes for any kind of healing whatsoever. Actually, doesn't Vanish give you a bit of a heal? I think that actually might have played against him, against his favor. The rogue is still out in the open. Hold on, Minus maybe can end this. Kidney shot. Final chance for the rogue to make something happen. Does not have a cloak of shadows or nothing. Still dotted, still rotted. Why does he just go down? Cheat death available. Cheat death. It does barely nothing for him. With Minus going in from a rogue into Kave Boy, the feral druid right after. This is going to be a trinket to fall. Wait, Kave Boy is actually on the other team. Wait, so Kave Boy then healed the rogue that one time, not Minus. Huh? Just putting the two and two together. I don't think he meant to kill him, but you know, there's that. Gonna be Minus, does get a juke out of kick, doesn't have much help to work with, trying to see if he can just maintain the dots onto the feral druid, but the feral's walking into this one with his teeth and claws sharp, and void bolts are available. Got himself full dots. Cover Boy will not have a lot of healing. Minus is trying to see if he can use that mana to fight through the dampening as best as he can. I don't know if he's gonna be able to, but he's gonna try. Stun yet again. Cover Boy into a fear, does not have a trinket at all. Minus not in a great spot when it comes to health at all. Silence of the Kave Boy for just a second. Quick fade, does have Empiric Embrace. I don't really know if they can do anything for you. Full dots on Kave, but he's got himself Heart of the Wild, Bark Skin, everything available at the very end there. And Forkbeard is going to be up next. I love the party look. That looks great. That looks fantastic. This Kave Boy just going to shred some bleeds with the guy back up out of there. It's going to have to play this for long haul as we are at 61% dampener, boys. Kave Boy with the Thorns to follow. Forkbeard doesn't have every defensive. Every offensive could just go in for the big roar to follow. Kave maybe in a lot of trouble right now. So is Forkbeard. Got himself the parry available, but the Thorns are doing wonders for the feral druid. Looking for a quick regrowth. It's barely healing for anything. Forkbeard needs to reconnect with the feral right now or watch him escape, catch a reset, and then suffer the bleeds. Does get a charge, but the reset is still in. Reflect for a second for one Moonfire. But the roots, the bleeds, it's all set in. Unless Forkbeard had... Actually, maybe he could have used his Dark Iron Racial, but I think there is a bit of a DR between the normal Trinket and the Dark Iron Racial. I think it was still in that like cooldown. But I could be wrong on that one. Thrallhall going to be up next. Last time versus Kave. I think Kave actually won that one, but Thrallhall did do well against the Feral Druid, but Kave Boy walking into with no help whatsoever. There's only so much you can really do. Bash for just a second, Trinket out of Thrall, taking him out fairly quick, executed, down he goes with Holy Saya. Gonna be up next. We got us this Balgan, Arke, and Holy Saya for him to get there, but for Thrall, I think it's probably gonna be the hardest matchup here. That or Demonology Warlock would have been pretty bad too, but the Pally, yeah. That's rough one. Thrall catch himself a reset behind the pillar for a second. Holy Side charges right in, but a Stormbolt is going to counter. If Thrall can get himself a reflect from one of the Hodges versus Holy, he'll be in a fantastic spot. Quick disarm for just a moment. Holy Side is building up a bit of damage. Running normal wings, not the Crusade wings. He's going to have himself a little bit more consistent damage rather than the big one-shot slammer hits. But at 75% dampening, maybe that slammer hits is what you really need. Reflect up is going to be able to reflect normal judgment. Have himself a Hodge ready. Thrall is prepared for it. Does he have him as a defensive? He may want to use one right now, unless he's willing just to trade out the Spore Cloak instead. Stun into Holy, Trinket to follow. Got him some big defenses. Just trying to back up. Thrall just takes the Shield of Edge to the face. That thing is just a tiny absorbed now at this point with this high dampening. They're just going to take it and just keep trucking. Got himself the big healing. Looking to use the Bloodthirst, not defensively to dampen the damage, but rather to get full recovery. And yo, that regenerating actually just ignores dampening. That is cool. I don't know when they did that, but that's a pretty big change. Thrall backing up away. He's got a second wind ticking. It's not a lot of healing, but it is consistent and forcing Holy Saya to charge at the guy. Headstrong, stun immediately. Next stun by Holy Saya. If he has a Hodge, Thrall, if you can somehow reflect it, that's going to be a rough one. Got full wings for Holy Saya. Got him some plenty of range, so trying to just see if he can kite out Thrall. And the man got him some charge, Fiora to Holy Saya. There goes the Hodge, has himself a trinket for this one. At least he can counter and break himself out of the stun. So you can at least go for Bloodthirst, go for healing, reflect up for just a second. Just summon Holy Saya. The man will have a Blessing of Protection. He may not even need it. Just Thrall is going to burn through with a Holy O. And does tell himself the Blessing of Protection for the final guy, Grifka, over on the team too. But at this point versus Grifka, what can you really do, man? That's going to be a Blessing of Saint. You're just not even going to go for a stun. I think you're just going to go for Shadow Strikes. He doesn't need a CC. He just needs to get in there, press the defensive, and just keep slamming out more Mortal Strikes. Shadow Strikes back to back to back. Balkan's going to be up next. Got himself a 100 mark on the Grifka, but does he realize the Grifka burned a cloak for this one? Oh, there goes the freezing trap out of Valgan. Did have to burn a chicken for this one. Turtle show really early, but he does avoid the secret technique entirely. Grifka no longer has a trinket though, so if you have a proper stun with the pet, and if you have a proper burst combo, you could make something happen. The pet tried to stay on to Grifka, but no Hunter's Mark on the rogue, so that's going to give Grifka a perfect opportunity to reset. Maybe Balkan can live the next go with Survival of the Fittest, together with a Fortification of the Bear, which at least gives you a little bit more health to work with, but it might be in a bit of a rough spot. Grifka trying to find himself a better angle. Camo out for Balkan, and unless Grifka randomly just walks out, Hunter's Mark is going to be on, and perfect opportunity for Balkan to have a go. If he got himself full cooldowns, maybe he can make something happen here. Get himself a stun into Grifka. No trinket available for the rogue. If you can at least get him close enough to get in a cheat death out of the guy, that'll be good. Trying to start out with a sniper shot. I don't know if he'll be able to. Grifka is going to stay mobile. Unless he gets in a bad spot. Pet is going to get you an opener. It's going to put the hunter back out on the map. Gouge the pet for a second. Trying to avoid the stun from the pet. There goes the charge trap as he goes in for a dance. Managed to follow a kidney shot. Does Balkan have anything for this one? He may need something right now. Sack. Anything whatsoever. Cheap shots back to back. Does go for the pet sack. There goes the Fortification of Bear. Survival of the Fittest finally stunned to Grifka. But I don't know if he's got himself a good setup versus the rogue. Cloaker shot is back up and available. Nothing he can do about it. It's over. Backstabs away and does it. I think the second amount right here, yeah? Unless he somehow just doesn't. Scatter? No way Balkan makes it out of this one, dude. There's no way. Volley for just a second. Shadow step. It's over. It's over. I don't know if Archimon can maybe get his pets onto Grifka. He's definitely trying to see if he can get an open onto Grifka before he catches himself advantage, but there goes that. Really quickly. Gonna be an opener by Grifka. It's done, I think, by the second pet. Full Tyrant is up and running. Grifka looking for an escape. Vantage back up and available very soon. And as long as he's avoiding the Tyrant, he's actually in a fantastic spot. Does get himself a Shadow Meld to reset that. Have himself a proper Vanish later, and that should give him like a Cloak of Shadows too. Sorry, trying to go for a little bit first aid, unable to catch up any kind of healing whatsoever, man. Cheap shot to follow, unless he got himself another pet stun or a Mortal Coil. Dark Pact that's not going to do much for you. It's actually going to do more damage to you. I think it's just going to do a lot of damage to your health too. But barely any much of a shield. I think it's like 1% of your health becomes a shield. Stun around the corner. Archie with the fear. Vantage by Grifka. Shadow Strike right after. Unless you got a Mortal Coil, it's just over. Yeah, nothing you can do. That is unfortunate, man. Grifka with 3, Kavibo with 2. There it is, man. There it is. Alrighty. Let's see, chat. Let's see here.